Hi, this is VJ from HeyJute, and here's my story. I'm the founder of HeyJute, something that I started a couple of decades ago now. When I graduated as an electrical engineer from Queen's University in Canada, I knew that I wanted to do something, run my own business. And so what I did was I started an engineering firm. And about 10 years into that, I started realizing that I wanted to use the creative side of my brain and actually wanted to make a positive impact in the world. Being an earth lover, being very aware of the environmental harm that we're doing as a species to our planet, I knew that I wanted to also help humanity in any which way I can. I'm from India, and so living in Canada. And so I wanted to see if I could also generate some employment in India for those who need it. So what I did was one of my business trips to South India, specifically Chennai, I wanted to explore this idea and see what we could do. And at that time, the iPod had just come out. Steve Jobs just released the iPod. And the world was going crazy making accessories for iPods. So I thought, why not? Why not make some cases for iPods? And I went to India and I looked up some manufacturers of plastic-based products, basically, that could help me make sustainable, recycled plastic cases for iPods. And what I found was the minimum order quantity for each model was something like 10,000 units. So each model I would design, I'd have to get 10,000 units manufactured and maybe have 5 or 10 models. So it was a really, really high cost and a big risk at the time. And what I did was I was in my office in Chennai. I literally opened the Yellow Pages back when they were Yellow Pages in book form. And I opened it to a page and I saw this advert of a self-help women's group that made products with their own hands. So I called them up and I spoke to the lady that ran the self-help women's group and I showed her my iPod. I still have it here, actually. I'll show you in a second. And she said, why don't you lend us your iPod for a few days and why don't you let us make you a case for your iPod? I said, that's a wonderful idea. And I lent her my iPod and 3 days later, she came back with our very, very first product, this beautiful iPod case. Remember these click wheel iPods? There's a pocket here. It's still a product that sells, believe it or not, so many years later. So when I saw this, I felt, wow, this is incredible. Growing up partly in India, I saw jute used as bags, ubiquitously. They were kind of all over the place. My grandma used to shop with jute bags. But living in Canada, I never saw that. I saw bags made out of plastic, basically. And the only time I saw this material, it was actually known as burlap. It still is. And I see them as coffee sacks, or I saw them as, fabric that's wrapped around trees. And I thought, this is a really interesting option and idea for me to try and explore making lifestyle products out of this material. At the same time, empower this self-help women's group. And I also contacted an organization called Child Rights in You, and I formed an alliance with them, and we started making ethically handmade products and wanted to also give back to underprivileged children. So that's where it all started. 2 decades later, we are now supplying, we're the largest supplier in North America of jute-based products, entirely sustainable, eco-friendly solutions to packaging. We make shopping bags for departmental stores. We make packaging for electronic products. We make, of course, coffee sacks for the coffee industry in Central America and other places in the world. So I just fell in love with this work. It involved me using my brain, the creative side of my brain in designing products, which is still something I absolutely love doing. We have companies that come up to us and say, we have this product and we need sustainable packaging for it. And at the same time, it gave me an opportunity to educate people and educate the masses about all the greenwashing that's going on in the world. So that's my story in a bit of a nutshell. But if you want to learn more about what we plan to do in the future and more about me, please reach out. Check us out at HeyJute.com.